In part 1, we explored the Schienen for Punkte track from the Gravitrax power book. In part 2, we'll power it, transforming it into an infinite loop. Earlier, we identified which sections might cause problems in continuous mode. Now we'll rebuild the track step by step, based on those findings.
Chapter 1. First modifications on the lower level.
Here's how we left the track at the end of part 1. We now disconnect the top level from the second, removing 2 rails. Next, we take off the entire upper level. Then we remove the long ramp rail, followed by the second transparent level. Now we also disconnect the lower transparent layer. Then we remove the column holding the small wall. And now the lowest transparent layer is removed. We take away this rail. And also these 2. We'll need to modify several parts of the track. Let's zoom in and clear some space. We remove this long rail connected to the wall. From the back, we see where it connects. Previously, the marble went through the wall's window here. We'll soon raise the wall and route the marble underneath. So we place a small stacker at this position. Add a cross, and reconnect it to the track on the left. Then we replace the parts we temporarily removed. On the other side of the wall, we remove a curve and cross. Then the balcony below them. We replace the 2 stackers with a few others. Then we add a variable U-turn on the smaller column. These U-turns help lower the track by 2.5 centimeters in any direction. We add a short curve just before the turn. This way the marbles will be able to pass under the wall, once we have raised it. Next, let's focus on raising the track, but why raise it at all? In part 1, marbles crossed paths near the landing. This piece was the main issue. We replace it with a normal curve from the left. Then we add a special tile attachment on top. These are useful when building on top of tiles. We place a stacker on it. Then a curve from the right, connection comes later. This lets marbles cross paths here without colliding. Let's go back to where we left off before raising the track. We first raise the 3 columns holding the walls. Then we remove these rails temporarily. And this curved tile. Raise this column by 3.5 centimeters. And replace the curve. Then we raise this column by 3.5 centimeters too. We remove these 3 curved tiles. Raise the bases by 3.5 centimeters as well. Then place them back. We raise this column by 3.5 centimeters. And this one too. And this one with the catcher. And finally, this last one. Now we replace the rails we removed earlier. Let's also raise this series of quick curves. We begin by removing its rails. And the curved tiles. We raise each column by 3.5 centimeters. And make the earlier adjustments. Then we reinstall the quick curves, now 3.5 centimeters higher.
Chapter 3. The wave slide.
Let's now focus on this part. How do we merge marbles from above and below without collision? We first remove this rail and add a small stacker. Then place this element on top. It's a wave slide under rail by Marblemania 3D. It allows a marble from above to push, not block, another below. They don't slow each other down, they just keep rolling. We connect the wave slide to the upper curve, using a short curve rail, 3D printed or store-bought. Back to the wide view, we replace the removed rails. We reinstall the first transparent layer. Then connect it to the rest of the track with rails. We also raise this column by 3.5 centimeters. Then return to the front view.
Chapter 4. The switch and cannon replacements.
Now we swap the old switch for a better one, and replace the cannon. First, we remove the curve and swap the stacker below it, for an angled one. This ensures marbles don't get stuck but roll to the funnel. It also blocks marbles from going the wrong way. Now to the cannon, we remove this rail. The cannon itself. and the curved tile on the receiving side. We replace the tile with a spiral. We'll explain why shortly. Let's look at this spiral more closely. It's a short helix with an adapter on top. The spiral head by kugelbond.de works at any height or direction. Next, we add a column here. Then a bridge between the column and transparent layer. Bridges help build above other Gravitrax parts. We place a column on the bridge. Then a straight tile from the bridge set, connected to the helix with a short rail. Note, the helix sits slightly higher than the tile. This avoids marbles entering the helix too fast. To the left, we now place a lever instead of a cannon. Then an angled stacker in front of it. And a lever cue on top. This setup ensures smooth transitions at the lever. Now we replace the switch with a reliable separator. We add a stacker, an angled one, and then this element. These separators are made by Preishal 3D. They work even if two marbles arrive at once. We must now raise the separator's entrance by plus 2.5 centimeters. We remove a short rail and add a tile attachment on the cross before it. Then add 1.5 centimeter stackers and a straight tile. Now the marbles enter at the correct height. And no more collisions from left or right, as shown in this video. We used a different tile attachment here than before. Last time, JeromeF 2804. This time, kugelbond.de. Because this cross is surrounded on all sides but one. JeromeF 2804's version needs space on 3 sides. Kugelbond.de's needs space on just one side. That's why we use the kugelbond.de version here. Back to where we left off, this section is now too low. We raise it all by 3.5 centimeters. We replace regular curves with high-speed ones. In part 1, sharp curves sometimes sent marbles flying. So now we use high-speed curves. Same elevation for this one. And this one too. Catcher and cross tile are now almost level. Previously, we had to use a straight Bernoulli to connect them. Now a regular short rail would do the job. To prevent stuck marbles, we place an angled stacker below the catcher. Let's zoom out. We add a stacker to the columns under the second transparent layer. We need this, or the catcher would sit too close to the layer above. Now we can add the second transparent layer.
Chapter 5. The upper funnel area.
Next, we place an angled stacker below the catcher. Now we need to adjust the upper funnel area. As seen in part 1, this section often caused trouble. We first swap the two-way funnel for a three-way one. Then slightly adjust the route with new curved tiles. Because the funnel sits lower than the curves, the chance of marbles jumping out, like here shown, is much lower.
Chapter 6. The ramp section.
Let's now focus on the ramp section. Earlier, marbles went up then down, a no-go for continuous mode. We must redesign this section to avoid collisions. We replace the ramp with a gently descending straight path ending in a curve. Then we change the camera angle. We first place a balcony here. Then we add a few stackers and a curved tile on top. And a curved tile. Below, we remove the short straight Bernoulli. And remove the drop, curved tile, and stackers. In the empty space, we place a straight bridge. These bridges are super versatile. Here we use it to place a floating curved tile. Then we rebuild the descending part of the ramp.
Chapter 7. The upper level.
Next, we reinstall the final transparent layer and reconnect it to the lower levels. We install a high-speed curve at this point. Now we tackle this crossing. It won't work in continuous mode. We raise the starter block by 3 centimeters. Now one marble reaches the crossing via a short straight Bernoulli. The other marble passes over it using another tile attachment. We raise this area by 3 centimeters as well. Now we adjust the last starter exit. We add a U-turn here to handle the height change. Finally, we connect the starter with the last missing rails. And take a step back to view the full build.
Chapter 8. The mixer and the E-lift.
Almost done, but what's still missing? Right! We still need to run the track continuously. A great replacement for the classic starter is the mixer. It sends marbles continuously in 3 directions. So we swap the starter for a mixer. Next, we replace the landing with an E-lift. Today, we use a modular helicoidal E-lift from the CM3D shop. Its modular design lets you reach almost any height. We use 3 7.5 cm modules to reach 32 cm. But first, the lift's entrance is 0.5 cm higher than the landing. So we must adjust the area just before it. We remove all rails and curved tiles there. Raise everything with a small stacker. And replace the tiles and rails as before. Now we remove the landing and build the E-lift in its place. First, the base. Then the first 7.5 cm module. A second one. A third one. And finally the top. Now let's connect the E-lift to the mixer. We add a column here. Place a stacker on top. Then a curved tile. And a short straight rail to reach the lift. But the mixer's entrances aren't aligned the way we need. No worries, we can rearrange the mixer's entrances. Finally, we reconnect the last mixer exit with a straight Bernoulli. And that's it, the track is ready. Check out part 3 to see it in action.